Hi everyone, Tammy Porter, also known as Artie Tambarambaa, here with you again today. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel, and we're going to create this pastel vibe art journal page using Art by Marlene products. So the reason behind this one is I wanted to take that gesso for a spin. So I used the new gesso. I also used some of the white craft tape. Of course, I used the markers. I used a couple of stencils out of last year's advent calendar. I also used my large white creative journal, the sticky quotes, which are amazing. And I used a couple of older stencils. There's a Mandala one from a while ago, and a really old one is a circular one. And then I've used the new paper pad, and that's the one with the patterns in it and the stripes. And I will put all the codes in the description section, but I pulled out all my pastel paints, so Peony, Heaven, Breeze, and I can't remember what the purple one's called. And then I've also got Happy, Ballet, Mermaid, Punk, Hot Curry, I've said Happy, Funky. Punk and Funky, I think. Sorry. So I'm just looking up. It's Lavender. It is called Lavender, the purple. So I'm just masking off the borders, the edges of my page, so I can have a really nice white crisp border. And for this page, I really just wanted to play with paints. I just wanted to lose myself in the process, and I really wanted to take the white gesso for a spin, mixing it with acrylic paints. And because last video I used it to block out paint, but I wanted to actually use it mixed in with paint just to see what the texture was like and things like that. So I grabbed basically all the colours that I got out, and I'm just popping them on my paint palette here, which is just an old takeaway container lid. So I've basically started with all of the colours, and just for the background I'm coming in with some of Marlene's pastels. So there's the Lavender, which is the purple, and then I'm coming in with the Peony, which is the pink. And I was sort of working in threes and just making sure it's, spread across the page. And this is the green. I don't think I mentioned the green, which is it called Kermit, which I've popped down. But then what I did is I wasn't wrapped with the green again with the other colours. So I came in with the Happy, and I mixed it with quite a bit of white paint. White gesso, and I loved the colour. It was like a lemony colour, but a little bit brighter. And so then I did the same with Ballet and got a gorgeous pink, absolutely stunning pink. And I was like, oh my God, I really love the way using the colours that I love, my go-to colours, mixing it with white gesso, you end up with this totally different colour, but it's still really vibrant. It's pastel, but it's vibrant, and it's really hard to capture in the video. Even the photos, I really had trouble getting it to look as beautiful as the page. The page has come out really pastel and soft, but vibrant. It's hard to explain, and I don't quite capture it properly in the video and the photos. And I seem to have some sort of light, I think because it's quite overcast here and the sun's quite low in the sky in winter, as it's going, the clouds are going over, I'm sort of getting a little bit of a flashing happening that I didn't notice until I did the voiceover. So sorry about that. So what I have done in the meantime is I've come in with some of those colours, and keeping in mind there was Ballet mixed with white, and I'll put some on the page and then lifted it up through one of the stencils from the advent calendar, just using a damp baby white. So I've done the same with then some Mermaid and using the flowery stencil. You can use any kind of stencil. I just wanted some different sort of shapes. I wanted a floral and some geometrics and just a mix of them. So Mermaid mixed with the white gesso looks amazing, and I just kept going, and then with the leftover bits of paint I just did a few mark makings as well, just making sure that those mark makings are coming off of your paint that's already there. So if you've done some stenciling with the Mermaid and Gesso, then make sure your mark making comes off of that section, just so it joins it and it gives it cohesion. Then, because I am on a mission to use orange, I mixed the hot curry, which is the orange, which is a really vibrant orange, a really bright orange. I mixed that with the Gesso and got a gorgeous kind of mango colour, which I really love. So I used a bit with stenciling to start with, but then I thought, oh, this is an orange that I really like. So I thought I would do some large shapes on my page. So I kind of did some big blooms, just some big petals. They're supposed to be flowers, and I put 3 on the page, top, bottom, and on the corner, and I'm making sure that they look like they're coming off of the page. So that just will create that flow, and it doesn't mean the page ends, you know, it's like continuous. So I've done a couple of coats of the orange with the Gesso, and you can see me mixing it up there. And I decide it needs that 3rd flower, so I pop that in. And yeah, so the way it colours up the colours that you already have, it's amazing that it's going to turn all of your paint colours, just mix them with Gesso and you get a whole new colour. And they're really beautiful, like particularly found Mermaid, Happy and Ballet and the hot curry, stunning. So then I thought I need to add a bit more mark making with that beautiful yellow, the Happy. But then I thought I need to try a few other colours. I need to see how they end up. So basically I decide I'm going to try some other colours out. But first of all, I got a bit ahead of myself. First of all, I'm just adding some Ballet and Gesso mixed together into the orange flowers, just to give them, you know, so they're not so flat, give them a bit of definition. And then I'm going around just adding more of the colours into the background, building up those layers, making sure some of the mark making has larger brush strokes and some smaller brush strokes as well. And then I think I also colour up the centre of the flowers. So I add some of the blue, the lighter blue, which is called Heaven, and I do mix a little bit of Breeze with it, which is like a little bit of pastel aqua colour. So that's just for the centre of the flowers, just to mark where they are. I don't do the top one because I feel like the middle of the top one would be off the page. Yeah, so I'm just kind of making them look like big large daisies. And I could do this mark making part for a very long time. Okay, so what I've done here is this is where we really wanted to see how that white gesso, because I'm loving the new colours. I want to see it with some other colours. So I mix in the neon pink called Funky and Punk, which is the neon purple. So I mix those in with the gesso, and it's just a beautiful colour. And so I do some mark making, I add a little bit into the flowers, and I absolutely love it. So I actually have quite a bit left over, mixed up too much. So I grabbed a tag and I just put in the leftovers on that. And it's really hard to see the difference here, but in person it is quite pink through the centre and purple on the sides. But yeah, mixing it with that gesso just gives you this huge variance of colours, and they are absolutely beautiful. So I'm super happy that I kind of accidentally discovered that, because I can see I'll be doing that quite a bit in the future. So now I'm just using that circular stencil, and I'm mainly using it because I just want to do some more sort of mark makings across my page, and I really like the size of the centre of those. And that's when I thought, well, I should have used that for the centre of the flowers. So I go back in and add that to those just to make them very circular. So I've really just done some Mermaid mixed with gesso through those circles using my finger just across the page, just sort of travelling across the page. And then I add a bit more just to give it a bit more oomph, a couple of layers, And I'm making sure as well, as always, that those circles are coming off the edge so that they look like, you know, it makes the eye travel across the page. Yeah. So then I dry all of that off. And I'm thinking about my title now because I'm really quite happy with how this looks. And I grab out that paper pad and think I'll use that, a happy, there's some word paper in there. And I'm thinking, I'll think of a quote using happy. In the end, I don't use it, and I have put it aside with the actual tag that I put the leftover paint on because I think they'll look great together. So it's sitting on my page, but I don't actually end up using it. Now I'm just using the markers to add a little bit more colour into both my circles. So it's hard to see on camera, but I added a little bit of pink. So they're not just aqua, there's a little bit of variance in them. And then I'm using the white marker to add some highlights to the petals and just some really fine mark making in the background. So because I'm going to have that white border when I lift up the craft tape, I really want to have some white in the actual page just to sort of balance it all out. So this is where I'm flipping through the sticky quotes, the new Golden Oldie quotes book. It's amazing. And I am looking for a quote, and I choose a white one just because I don't want to overpower the page, and it also brings that white in as well. And the quote says, there is freedom in forgiveness. And I've just added a bit of personal journaling saying, so it's time to forgive yourself and be free. And that, as you know, my art always reflects my life. So yeah, that's quite cathartic for me. So then I've got a fine black pen and I've just outlined, you know, a couple of times around the flowers and around the circles, just to give it a couple of times, gives it that sort of scribbly look, and that finishes the page off. So then I just remove the craft tape using a heat gun to peel it off, and ta-da, it is finished. As I said before, I can't quite capture the colours properly in the video and in the photos and the close-ups. It is a lot more fresher in real life, not quite so vibrant as in these photos. But it gives you the general idea. It's very fresh and quite Eastery looking. So that's it from me. I will say the gesso is a winner.